Hello and welcome back. Today I'll be going over LeetCode problem 65, which is about finding a valid number. In this video, I'll be trying a different approach when explaining the problem. I'll be showing you the code right here in front of you, and I'll be going through it line by line, explaining what I did. This is done under the assumption that you've read through the problem already. If you haven't, or you don't understand what it's asking, then feel free to let me know in the comment section below so I can help explain the problem to you. Otherwise, let's get into the code. The first thing I'm going to be doing is initializing three checking variables: number scene, eCheck, and .check. The problem states that we can have up to a total of one decimal point in our string and a total of one e in our string. So I'm going to be using the eCheck and .check variables to help keep track of when they appear. The digit scene variable is simply used to see if the string has a digit, and I'll be explaining later on why we do this. To actually go through each character of the string, I'll be using a for loop that starts from 0 and ends at the length of the string -1. The reason we start at 0 is because strings are indexed from 0 onwards, meaning that the first character is at index 0. We then save the character that we're currently at to a character variable of your choice. The first thing we want to do is see if the character is a digit. If it is, then that's completely fine, and we simply set our number scene variable to true, since we did see a number. However, if our character is not a digit, then there are only three other options that still allow us to have a valid number, being if our character is a sign, a period, or the letter E. Let's see what happens if our character is a positive or a negative sign. We're allowed to have a sign at the start of the string, so when I is 0, we don't really care. However, if I is greater than 0, that means that our sign appears at a position that isn't the first character. In this case, we can only have a valid number if there is an E right in front of the sign. This condition is represented by this if statement, which returns false if our position is greater than 0 and if there's no E right in front of the sign. Otherwise, the code just goes through another iteration. The next thing we have to look out for is if our character is a period. Since we're only allowed to have at most one decimal in our string, we should check to see if the .check variable is true, which becomes true when we've seen a period before. We should also check to see if the eScene variable is true. Remember, we can't have a decimal following the E. If eScene is true, then that means that our string has a decimal following an E. So if either eScene or .check is true, we should return false. Otherwise, we just set .check equal to true and we continue on with the code. The final thing that we're going to be checking is if our character is a lowercase or an uppercase e. If it is either of them, then we'll be checking to see if eCheck is true, or if number scene is false. The reason we check the eCheck variable is because we can't have more than one E in our string. But the reason we check the number scene variable is because there has to be a number in front of the E, which is why we have the number scene variable in the first place. If there's nothing in front of the E, then the number scene variable will be false. Since we're checking the opposite of number scene, a false value will evaluate to true, which returns false for the method. Otherwise, we just set eScene equal to true and number scene back to false. The reason we set number scene back to false is because there has to be a number after the E as well. If there is indeed a number after the E, then when the code iterates again, it'll then set the variable to true and everything will be fine. However, if there's no digit after the E, when we return the number scene variable at the end, we'll end up returning false, which is exactly what we want. Finally, we return false at the end of our giant block of if statements as our else statement. The reason we do this is because if our character isn't a sign, E, period, or a digit, then it's just going to be a random letter that we don't want, and we can't have random letters in our number. When we submit this, we can see that it works. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, goodbye.